Have you ever seen how complicated things can get the more you share with your family? We've discovered some harsh realities at this age. And this is one of them. You don't have to say everything aloud. Full honesty, I once believed, was the greatest approach to maintaining a close relationship with loved ones. But eventually, I understood. Stillness can sometimes provide insight. The goal is not to conceal anything. Choosing calm over drama is the key. There is a difference between freedom and coercion. You are entitled to preserve your energy and to honor specific aspects of your life after the age of 65. In this video, I'll discuss 5 things that, in my opinion, are better kept private. This message is intended to prevent unnecessary stress and maintain the integrity of your relationships. We are sending this message to individuals who value their mental and physical independence as they grow. Stay with me through to the end. If this resonates with you, don't forget to click the bell, subscribe, and join our growing community of compassionate, intelligent seniors. Now let's begin. This is the first step. Financial choices and assets. This lesson is the most important thing I've learned throughout the years. You don't have to disclose every detail. Your finances are part of that. Naturally, as we age, we want to keep our family members informed and free from conflict. Therefore, it may seem that being completely transparent is the appropriate thing to do. We will disclose our current savings amount, our projected savings, and the performance of our assets. In our opinion, there won't be any shocks later if I set everything out in plain sight. However, that openness actually frequently leads to other opportunities. Obstacles, uninvited commentary, and even subtly applied pressure often result from such openness. This is especially true when the perspectives of various generations regarding money differ significantly. There was a woman named Joyce that I knew. Soft-spoken and graceful, the 78-year-old had worked hard and been frugal for decades to accumulate a modest nest egg. Her 3 children are now adults. She wanted to be transparent. So one day she told them about her financial intentions, assuming that all would be okay and they would feel relieved. Instead, inquiries began to come in. Have you considered whether a home of this size is the best choice for you? Isn't it preferable to make different investments? Have you considered giving a present right away rather than later? Her daughter even brought in an unwelcome financial advisor to take a look at the situation. A continuous flow of feedback resulted from what began as an act of transparency. Joyce experienced a sense of observation rather than control. That is the risk. The exact independence you've fought your entire life to preserve could be lost the moment you divulge too much about your financial situation. Especially if you don't have a clear limit. Inadvertently, even well-meaning family members may go too far in their attempts to help, only to undermine your peace of mind in the process. In worse cases, people who used to be distant suddenly show interest in your money rather than in you. We have all witnessed it occur. A cousin who has never contacted you before is suddenly reaching out to you. A grandchild arrives asking about your will. Although it's not necessarily malevolent, it can be unnerving. I share such information with my peers for that reason. Some things are acceptable to keep private. No, you're not being evasive. You're doing the right thing. It is very reasonable for you to keep your financial information private. You don't owe anyone a spreadsheet of your accounts. It's not necessary to justify every purchase. Furthermore, you absolutely do not have to justify your choice to upgrade your hearing aids, purchase a new couch, or go on vacation. This is not an excuse for not making plans in advance. Having your estate organized is actually a beneficial idea. A reliable power of attorney is essential. Establish a clear will. Select a responsible person to speak with when the time is appropriate. However, revealing every piece of information too soon can change the dynamic so that your family starts managing your life instead of you managing it. Once you open the door, it becomes difficult to keep it closed. If you've ever had the impression that someone is more concerned with protecting your wallet than your heart, it's a warning sign. Stop second-guessing your purchases if you're anxious about what other people may think. Your golden years shouldn't be spent that way. You're entitled to make your own decisions without explanation. You've worked hard all your life to secure your financial future. It is up to you to determine what makes you happy, secure, or comfortable. Let me leave you with this thought. Confidentiality is not privacy. It is defense. Maintain tranquility. Talking about money should be measured and cautious. Additionally, only extend an invitation to someone you know will respect your boundaries. You shouldn't be required to defend or explain your independence. It's something you were worthy of. Now, like you have done with everything else you cherish in life, guard it. 2. Health issues not immediate as we age. It's normal for our bodies to experience fluctuations. Age-related symptoms include occasional joint pain, restless nights, and increased fatigue after a long day. It is understandable that you would want to share those moments with your kids or grandkids. Ultimately, they are concerned about us. Sharing is considered a sign of trust, and we want to feel connected. There's a thin line, though, between informing loved ones and bothering them with every little pain and suffering. In certain cases, excessive communication can lead to unnecessary anxiety, tension, or even an unwanted shift in how others perceive us. Tom was a 74-year-old acquaintance of mine who was still energetic and full of life. He casually commented that he had sore shoulders after gardening one day. Before he knew it, his daughter had scheduled a visit with the doctor, made 2 daily phone calls to check in, and even proposed hiring a helper to help with household chores. Tom realized that his anger was a result of love, but he couldn't get rid of the sensation that he was suddenly being treated like a weakling. Talking about our small health issues on a regular basis, even in a casual way, can gradually alter how others see us. They may begin to believe that we are deteriorating more quickly than we are. They may think we need more help than we do or be hesitant to include us. And that loss of autonomy can be extremely upsetting, even if it is unintended. You shouldn't conceal significant health problems because of this. Your family should know whether something is really affecting your day-to-day life or if you need help. But there are little things that can be handled. It's acceptable to keep them private. That's defending your freedom to live your life as you see fit. Not being secretive. Maintaining your privacy is about protecting your independence, not about denial. You've spent enough time in your body to recognize what's serious and what isn't. You should have the decency to handle those minor issues as you see fit, without worrying about micromanagement. Getting older does not imply losing control. It's the moment to feel most sure in who you are, when to take action, and when to just relax. If anything, trust your instincts and don't allow the excessive concern of others to erode your self-assurance. Despite everyone's concern for you, it doesn't ultimately lead to tranquility in your later years. It comes from being aware of your needs, making decisions about what to give, and leading a life of calm faith in your understanding. 3. By the time you get to this age, you start to see a straightforward but significant truth about family conflicts. You maintain more harmony when you remain quiet, particularly when it comes to family issues. I can't even begin to count the number of family disputes I have seen. Children squabbling over inheritance, siblings arguing over past hurts, and sons and daughters-in-law being criticized for their financial or parenting decisions. My initial instinct was always to assist, mediate, give counsel, and point out what was correct. But as time went on, I discovered something important. Even the most loving remarks can occasionally feed a burning fire. Elaine is a woman I recall from our reading club. She gently persuaded her daughter to allow her grandson to start picking up his toys. It was just a simple, well-intentioned comment. Her daughter, however, became aloof, stopped phoning, and stopped inviting her over after a few days. Despite being meant with kindness, that one remark was considered criticism. What about that distance? Once more, it never truly closed. We older people frequently find ourselves as the inadvertent victims of conflicts we would rather not be involved in. Both of the kids accuse you of picking a side when you attempt to resolve their disagreement. After you share a brief opinion about your son-in-law, your daughter stops talking to you about him. When you attempt to help two relatives come to an agreement, you wind up taking the responsibility when it fails. No matter how gentle or sincere your remarks are, they could be misunderstood if the person listening is offended or defensive. What is the most challenging aspect to address? After the argument is over, they often recall your words more vividly than the initial spark, and they cling to that, sometimes indefinitely. Let me tell you this. Then, according to seasoned souls, remaining silent does not imply weakness. It is sagacity. You don't have to fix everything. Choosing a side is not necessary. All you have to do is say, "I'm sure you'll figure it out." By smiling and taking a step back, you may shield your heart from needless tension. Above all, you can express your opinions without feeling guilty about it. Speaking from the heart doesn't always result in understanding, as we've discovered at this point in our lives. Sometimes, the most loving thing you can do is to remain silent. It honors their autonomy to grow, learn, and make mistakes. Allow your kids to navigate on their own. Give your family time to change. You don't want to get involved in every fire anymore, so you're calm in the storm. You cannot exchange your peace for fleeting approval. Above everything else, keep in mind that you deserve your peace. Keep things to yourself, especially when it comes to family conflict. Please let me know by leaving a yes comment below if you thought these ideas were helpful. I would love to hear your opinions, because they are important. Number 4. You feel regret over the past. Growing older is something that no one truly teaches us. We need to learn how to deal with the things we cannot change. Everybody has regrets. I regret not moving more slowly. I wish I had followed my aspirations. I regret not spending more time with my family. These ideas are quite human. However, it's not necessary to express every regret out loud. It's not necessary to express every regret out loud. This is especially true when it comes to the people you care about. I used to know Linda, a kind mother and longtime caregiver. One day, she remarked nonchalantly to her daughter, "I wish I hadn't given up my career." Even if she didn't mean to do any damage, her daughter heard that she wasn't worth the cost. Silently, that one sentence, said in passing, put them at a distance. Regrets can sometimes pose a challenge. Others may interpret what you perceive as candid introspection as rejection. Saying, "I wish I'd lived somewhere else," could lead your kids to believe you weren't satisfied with your upbringing. When you discuss a long-lost opportunity or an old buddy, your family may question whether they were ever enough. And it might make them feel like they're a part of a life you didn't really want if you're always thinking about what-ifs. This is another. The more you express regret, the more people may see you as stuck in the past. They may treat you differently as a result of that perception, showing greater hesitancy, caution, and emotional distance. It's not that you should keep everything to yourself. Occasionally, the lessons we learn from our reflections and memories are worth preserving. But we should save some of those lessons for our own private comprehension. It's not that we're hiding anything, but rather that we've chosen to maintain harmony in our relationships. Stating, "I wish I had," is not as effective as stating, "I've learned a lot from that journey." In addition to honoring your narrative without burdening others, it conveys thankfulness rather than sadness. You can choose when and what to share, but you don't have to hide your feelings. In actuality, the grace we offer ourselves by embracing the past rather than trying to change it is what brings us serenity in our later years. 5. One lesson I wish someone had taught me earlier is to fully understand my financial situation. As we age, we learn numerous things. Sharing everything is not necessary, particularly when it comes to money. Finances have an impact on all relationships, but they particularly affect families. Although it can inspire thankfulness, money can also arouse jealousy. Though it can often lead to entitlement, it can also lead to genuine support. And it's impossible to take back what you've shared. This is a silent reality to consider. When people realize you've had enough, their perception of you changes. Sometimes people begin to anticipate things without even realizing it. Help? Presents? Do you have any inheritances? Questions like, "Why not downsize?" appear benign. Or will you be leaving something for the grandchildren? They may be disguised as care, but they frequently go beyond acceptable limits. However, some loved ones may start going too far, questioning your choices, giving you unwanted advice, or worrying excessively about your well-being if you confess that you're having difficulties. What starts out as worry could gradually undermine your self-reliance. Being wealthy isn't the only thing that defines true freedom in later life. Having the final say in your financial decisions is crucial. In addition to disclosing figures, sharing too much information about your investments, savings, or financial plans invites criticism, pressure, and perhaps judgment. Many people think that complete openness prevents miscommunications. However, miscommunications can be resolved. Once established, entitlement is difficult to eradicate. And it's challenging to rebuild the ties you previously had when people start to view your riches rather than your value. Doing so does not imply that you should keep secrets. It is advisable to have an executor or financial advisor, beyond what is required by law. However, exercise discretion. Confidentiality is not privacy, it is defense. Give this idea some thought. Being aware of your wealth does not earn you genuine respect. It stems from the realization that no one else can control it. Additionally, if a member of your family only shows interest when discussing money, it could be your wallet rather than your heart. Protecting your financial privacy isn't about mistrust. It's about keeping the life you've worked so hard to create, retaining your dignity, and finding peace of mind. In the end, a joyful retirement isn't determined by how much you can give but by how freely you can live on your terms. As we wind up, I want you to take a quiet time to breathe and contemplate. Throughout your life, you have taken care of others, raised kids, maintained harmony, and provided support, but it's your turn now. Peace isn't a luxury at this point in your life. You have a right to it. At times, clinging to certain truths is the most effective protection. This is not done out of fear or secrecy, but rather out of wisdom. Consider what truly merits sharing and what requires safeguarding. Your peace of mind, your freedom, and your delight are worth defending. You've earned the right to live the remainder of your life with clarity, tranquility, and confidence. If this video speaks to you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who may need to hear these words. And let us know in the comments. What is one thing you have decided to keep for yourself moving forward? We read every message, and your story might inspire someone else. Thank you for spending time with me today. Until we meet again, cherish your tranquility and protect it like a precious treasure. This is another. The more you reveal your regrets, the more others may come to regard you as someone stuck in the past rather than someone still living completely in the present. They may treat you differently as a result of that perception, showing greater hesitancy, caution, and emotional distance. It's not that you should keep everything to yourself. Occasionally, the lessons we learn from our reflections and memories are worth preserving. But we should save some of those lessons for our own private comprehension. It's not that we're hiding anything, but rather that we've chosen to maintain harmony in our relationships. Stating, "I wish I had," is not as effective as stating, "I've learned a lot from that journey." In addition to honoring your narrative without burdening others, it conveys thankfulness rather than sadness. You can choose when and what to share, but you don't have to hide your feelings. In actuality, the grace we offer ourselves by embracing the past rather than trying to change it is what brings us serenity in our later years.